Good evening. Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP Paula LLEWELLYN, has ruled that no criminal charges be preferred against Floyd Green, Andrew Bellamy, Gabriel HYLTON, and Dave Powell in relation to alleged breaches under the Disaster Risk Management Act (DRMA) as part of the COVID containment measures. However, the DPP outlined in the 8-page ruling that it is the considered view that charges may be laid against the R Hotel for breaches of the Principal Act. Due to the high public interest and the nature of the persons involved, a detailed opinion has been prepared and is being issued at this time. Now, in this ruling, the DPP sought to examine the position of hotels under the DRMA and then examine the treatment of categories of persons under the legislative instruments. The office recommended that criminal charges may be laid against the R Hotel for breach of Section 1410 of the Principal Act for its failure to abide by the Ministry of Tourism protocols relating to the manner in which the guests congregated in the dining area at the material time. Mr. Green, the Member of Parliament for St. Elizabeth Southwestern, resigned from the cabinet where he was serving as the Minister of Agriculture. This amidst public outrage after a video surfaced with him at an alleged birthday party that was reportedly staged for his personal assistant Gabriel HYLTON last September. Mr. Green was returned to the cabinet by Prime Minister Andrew Holness in a recent shuffle and given the portfolio responsibility for the National Identification System. In other news tonight, in an effort to dispel misinformation in the public domain, the government says it will be working to strengthen and promote greater collaboration within its communications network. This was disclosed by the Minister without portfolio in the Office of the Prime Minister OPM with responsibility for information, Robert Morgan. Minister Morgan said this is critical as the spread of false information is detrimental to social order. The minister emphasized that, quote, "In order to maintain our democracy, not just for this government, but for the future of the country, we have to build robust systems to counteract that," end quote. He said it is therefore essential that communication practitioners, particularly those that operate as part of the state communications system, utilize all avenues available to disseminate accurate information to counter false narratives that are being circulated. He encouraged greater collaboration among state communication practitioners and stressed the need for speedy action in addressing misinformation. Minister Morgan said it is not just about sharing information, but amplifying the message so that as many persons as possible can have the facts. Continuing with the news tonight, the National Voter Identification ID cards have been brought up to international standards with new designs and security features added. The cards that are being distributed by the Electoral Office of Jamaica, EOJ, and are set to expire in 2031 pioneer a new level of identification security for Jamaica. Public Education Officer at the EOJ, Dania Harper, who provided details about the improvements recently, said the material used to produce the cards has changed. She added that the new cards are laser printed, so the information is embedded in the card itself, making them more secure than before. There are also noticeable differences between the previous voter ID cards and the new ones, such as coloring, including the color of the photograph and placement of demographic information. Other changes include the removal of the image of the hummingbird and replacement of the coat of arms with the Electoral Commission of Jamaica ECJ's logo in the top left-hand corner. The cards also now include hues of pink and yellow throughout. New voter ID cards can be collected from a pickup location which can be found by visiting the EOJ's website at www.ecj.com.jm. Distribution of the new voter ID cards is being done at the EOJ's constituency offices between the hours 8:30 a.m. and 4 p.m. Mondays to Thursdays, and from 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Fridays. Distribution is being done alphabetically as follows: Mondays A to E, Tuesdays F to K, Wednesdays L to P, Thursdays Q to T, and Fridays U to Z. Still tonight, Minister of Justice Delroy Chuck says the ministry will be working to ensure that court cases are dealt with quickly, this by coordinating with the restorative justice centers across the island. Minister Chuck, who was speaking during the National Service of Thanksgiving that signals the official start of Restorative Justice Week 2022, said, quote, "Matters must be settled in a reasonable and timely manner because when they drag on for too long, people feel that the only alternative is to take it into their hands to get what they consider to be justice, but that is not justice." End quote. This year's theme is crime prevention through restorative justice is everybody's business. Now, against this background, Minister Chuck says restorative justice centers, which fall under the Alternative Dispute Resolution ADR method, will help to take away as many of the less serious cases from the dockets of the court system itself. Additionally, Minister Chuck said persons use inappropriate, unlawful, violent, and murderous behavior to settle their arguments, and this is something for the state to respond to. On this note, he urged the judges to consider a life sentence for all serious offenses. Continuing with the news tonight, the Kingston and St. Andrew Family Court on Duke Street resumed normal operations today after facilitating only emergency matters for the past week due to a COVID-19 outbreak. The Court Administration Division CAD said the public can now access the full range of services offered by the court, including counseling. Individuals whose matters were affected by the closure are encouraged to call the Kingston and St. Andrew Family Court at 876-613-3801 to ascertain the new dates for their matters. They may also access information on the new dates for their matters on the parish court's website at parishcourt.gov.jm. The court is also reminding the public that strict COVID-19 protocols will be enforced at the court, which may result in delays. We go now to tonight's COVID-19 update, where Jamaica reported 410 new cases of COVID-19 and 8 fatalities yesterday. Now, this increases the total of cases of the virus since the start of the pandemic to 124,512 and the death toll to 2,659. Of the newly reported cases, there were 252 females and 157 males, ranging in age from 1 day to 95 years. The gender of one of the cases was reported as under investigation. The cases were recorded in Kingston and St. Andrew with 92 cases. St. Catherine recorded 51 cases. St. James 44. St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland recorded 34 cases each. Clarendon recorded 33 cases. St. Mary 27 cases. Manchester recorded 24 cases. St. Anne and Hanover recorded 19 cases each. St. Thomas recorded 17 cases. Trelawney recorded 11 cases and Portland recorded 5 cases. Meanwhile, the latest victims include 2 males aged 75 and 87 and 2 females aged 77 and 85 from St. Elizabeth. Also among the latest deaths are 2 males from Clarendon aged 89 and 91, and from Kingston and St. Andrew, a 77-year-old female and an 82-year-old male. The deaths were recorded between January 9 and 29. 2 additional deaths were reported as under investigation. The country also recorded 346 new recoveries, increasing the total of recovered persons now to 70,003, with 7,864 confirmed active cases. Still tonight, the Kingston East Police reaped success following an operation that resulted in the seizure of 2 firearms and several assorted rounds of ammunition on Wild Street in the parish yesterday. Reports from the Elliston Road Police coming into our news center are that at approximately 1:30 p.m., law enforcement officers conducted an operation in the area and a premises was searched. During the search, one AR-15 rifle fitted with a magazine containing 30 rounds of 5.6mm ammunition and a white sock with 13 additional 5.6mm rounds were seized. The search continued and one MAC-10 submachine gun fitted with a magazine containing 2 9mm rounds of ammunition was also seized. No one was arrested in relation to the seizure. In the meantime, a man was also arrested yesterday, this following a firearm seizure at Q District, Hanover. Reports from the Lucy Police coming into our news center are that at approximately 6 a.m., a team of officers conducted an operation at a premises where one 6-SAR P232 pistol and a magazine fitted with 3.380 rounds of ammunition was seized. The occupant was arrested, however, his identity is being withheld pending further investigations. And that's our news package for you tonight. Thank you for tuning in to Mello TV Evening News at 8. I am LLEWELLYN Hill. Do stay safe and pleasant viewing.